Hi everyone, it is A. Marie Cards and welcome back to your weekly tarot reading. We are doing May 11th through the, oh, this one already decided to come out. Okay, we're just getting right into it. May 11th through the 17th. Go ahead and put the first one that came out there. That's starting out nice. So this is also the full moon in Scorpio, and a big theme for this full moon is going in and finding those parts of yourself, your shadow self, the aspects that you may have neglected or were pushed aside, and bringing them back up to the forefront and basically kind of making peace with them. So I love the fact that the Empress kind of came out. The Empress usually associates with ideas, new things brewing, because she is pregnant in most of the cards. So this is the original, deck, the Rider Smith Rider-Waite, and so this is one of the major arcana cards, and I mentioned this actually in a previous video. I'll actually tag the video right here. But she's usually pregnant in most of the cards, and she usually is associated with like I said, new birth, new ideas, things coming to fruition. So let's see what else is going on for you guys for the 11th through the 17th of May 2025. What else are we looking? Okay, let's see. 11th through the 17th. How are you guys doing? How's everyone holding up? You guys doing okay? Everyone doing all right? If you follow astrology in this, ooh. Okay, so we got the Ten of Cups, and we have the Page of Wands. So there's I'm feeling a lot of creative energy here this week in particular. I'm getting creative vibes. I'm getting ideas. I'm getting game plans. But I'm getting the feeling tying into the new moon and its theme right now. There's also got to be a sense of kind of like, it was kind of carrying over from last week. I think last week was kind of getting you set for this week. If you follow kind of the advice of this moon in Scorpio, and if you really kind of like, embrace that and really go for, hey, let me find the areas where, my so-called weaknesses, and really sit with those. If you really commit to doing that, then I think you're going to actually, this is going to be a lot easier to achieve. So that popped up last week. And now this week it's kind of like, hey, if you started doing the homework you needed to do last week, then this is going to be a breeze for you this week. So mention the Empress, the Ten of Cups. That's to me, that's one of the best cards to get. I kind of see this as kind of like a happily ever after card. Because as you can see, it's like family, have everything that you need. And this is usually associated more for relationships. And that doesn't have to be just romantic or family relationships. It could also mean business relationships and partnerships. And then we have the Page of Wands. The wands have to do with, of course, like creative ideas and things like that. I always think of it like the non-tangibles, so to speak, kind of like those non-tangible kind of ideas. And I always associate the wands with creativity, which is why I think it's interesting that the Empress also showed up. So ideas are going to be bubbling this week for you guys, especially if you did the work that you need to do last week. So if you did the work you're supposed to do last week, and if you get kind of like go and find those areas of yourself that need to be, the word's not conquered, they need to be heard. I think is a better way to put it. I think they need to be heard. You get those areas heard and integrate them better into you, and kind of ask yourself, hey, what are the parts of me that have been neglected? Because I guarantee you some of these really great ideas are in those areas that have been neglected. What parts of you have you been kind of like holding back for fear of, kind of, the words are not coming today. The feelings and thoughts are coming, the words, not so much. Feelings of being kind of like not accepted, or being ridiculed, made fun of, not taken seriously. Those are the things that you need to really actually hone in on. Those are the things that you actually need to focus on trying to birth, because there is this feeling of us getting to a point where, you know what, we need these ideas. If we want to have kind of a harmonious society, we need your ideas. And a lot of people are sitting on a lot of really great ideas right now for fear, just straight up fear. And this is kind of telling me, hey, do not, don't let that fear, that combined with the moon in Scorpio, don't succumb to that fear. This is the time to kind of face that fear, because these ideas and these thoughts and these, dare I say, leaders are needed. We don't usually think of a page per se as a leader. They're usually kind of seen as the younger folks, I guess you could say, kind of coming up with these great ideas and things like that. But this isn't just meaning for like the younger people. This is also the younger at heart. Those of you who maybe you've had dreams since you were young, and it was just, you know what, I can't, I can't do that. I have this responsibility and that responsibility. I have this, I have that, and the other. And then you look up and you're part of the group of people, like we were mentioning last week and the week before that got laid off. Well, hey, you know what? Guess what you can do now? Guess what you can go and do now? Because now you literally have nothing to lose. I know that I'm making it sound like it's a really, like, yay. I'm not looking as a yay, but I am telling you, look at the reasons why things have happened the way they have happened in your life. And that the fact that this is a very positive kind of reading coming after a very, I guess you could say, real one last week. The last couple of weeks have been pretty intense as far as their messages. This one is a bit more lighter, a bit more open, which I guess is why it's harder for me to get the words for it. I'm seeing images for it, but it's harder to get the words for it, because this one is very different from the ones I was getting before. Before, it was very clear, kind of not necessarily warnings, but it was very clear, kind of like, hey, they need to know this, they need to know this. This is more kind of, these ideas that are starting to come, allow them to percolate, allow them to gestate, allow them to come forward, because they're going to lead to good things. They're going to lead to really, really good things, but you have to be willing to open up to them. And part of that means you're going to have to go down into those aspects of you that you may not necessarily want to go into, or you think, oh, this will never be accepted, or, oh, I'll never be accepted because of this. No, none of that thinking. We're not having any of that kind of thinking, okay? None of that. We're in the year 2025. We do not have time for that kind of thinking, okay? This is, if any time is a good time to kind of have that whole idea of let's throw things to the wall. I really get the feeling that this year in particular is kind of like this year of, hey, if you had been thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it, and there were things that were holding you back from doing it, you know what? Do it. Just be like Nike and just do it. That has been an ongoing theme, I will say, just the do it kind of aspect. I'm getting that 20 times over. I'm getting that in my own personal readings. I'm getting that in the collective readings. So this is a universal message of, hey, whatever it is that you've been sitting on, whatever it is that you're like, oh, I don't know if it'll be accepted or not, to do it. Not anything illegal. I mean, this is something that's like, that's creative. You're creating something. That's why the Empress card is here. It's something being created. Percolate this, put this, incubate this. That's exactly what the Empress is. It's about incubation. It's taking an idea, a thought, a relationship, whatever, depending on the other cards, and incubating it and really, really nurturing it. You really have to nurture this idea despite any of the fears that you're having about it, because I'm sure there's the fears in there, and that's why the timing of this is so, so serendipitous. That's a new word for you. Look up serendipity. There's your vocabulary word. Serendipity. I love that word. But very serendipitous that's happening at the time of this moon that's kind of forcing you to come out of yourself a bit more, in the sense of accepting your weaknesses and embracing them as your own, and also getting to the root of your fears and conquering them, those last few fears that you have. Because I have a feeling most of you have conquered quite a few of them. That's what a lot of the last several months have been about. But there's some lingering things you can go in there and clean up. And this is kind of like, go ahead and clean those up so you can get started and get on the good stuff. This is really good. Nurture those ideas that you're having, right? Continue to write them down. Start fleshing them out a little bit now. You know, if you want to, some of you can collaborate with someone else. Some of you, it's like, keep it to yourself for now. But flesh out these ideas and really get a good picture in your head on what you want this life to now look like, in lieu of everything that you've been through the last several months, in lieu of what's been happening both on your personal timeline and on the global timeline, everything that's been happening. What is it that you want out of life right now? And something tells me if you dig a little bit, it's going to be more than like, oh, I want a Lamborghini. No, it's more than that. This is not the card of I want a Lamborghini. This is much deeper than that. You're being forced to dig a little deeper than that. Why would you, I'm using Lamborghini as an example, but why would you want a Lamborghini? What is the purpose of that? Oh, well, it'll make me be, you know, noticed more by people. Why do you want to be noticed more? Because I want to be, you know, seen as important. Dig and find out why you're, why do you have the wants that you have? Are those really your wants, or are those wants that are perpetrated by society onto you? Don't know who need to hear that part, but yeah. So yeah, this is a great week to start percolating and gestating your ideas. Start writing them down, start fleshing them out, start doing the research that you need to get them going. We're in this really great time period now to start really working into these ideas and really start building them, because something tells me this time, say like next year, you're going to be really happy that you did. You're going to be so happy that you started kind of really working on this and gestating this idea. All right. That's it for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know if you have ideas for things that you'd like to see me do on this channel. This is a very new channel, a very new thing I'm doing right now. It's just the weekly readings. I'm hoping to start expanding it into something else soon. I just got to figure out what. And yeah, so let me know what you guys want to see on this channel. Thank you so much. Feel free to comment, ask questions, all that good stuff. Happy Moon Scorpio, and I will see you guys next week. Be blessed. Bye.